Let's in the meantime talk about the case hearing which is underway in the Bombay High Court. This is coming at a time when the accused parents have approached the court. They have been citing foul play, saying that this is a bid when it comes to the killing that has happened of their son, who was the main accused in the case with regards to the case of alleged sexual assault of minors. And they have now approached the Bombay High Court. Let's in the meantime, we'll be getting a word from our reporters as well to suggest exactly what this hearing is all about, because the parents here, the kin of the accused, have been citing that there is a certain foul play, and in a bid to hide the real accused, Akshay Shinde was shot dead. This has been when it comes to their side of the arguments that they have now put up before the court, and the court agreed to take up the matter. We are told that the hearing that is currently underway, that is taking place in the Bombay High Court. However, this has been the plea that has been put up by the parents of the main accused, which is Akshay Shinde. Remains to be seen how the other side that responds to it as far as the police's version is concerned. We've also heard when it comes to the political statements that have been coming in from both sides, where even when it comes to the action that is being initiated by the police were being questioned when it comes to certain leaders within the opposition parties. But even crying foul play is the kin, is the parents of the main accused Akshay Shinde, who's now no more. The autopsy that has been conducted, the post-mortem report cites the reason for death is brain hemorrhage and shock, and his samples that are also being preserved for investigation. However, the parents have approached the Bombay High Court, and this is in a bid that they have been saying that there is certain foul play with regards to the killing, as what they have been calling, or the encounter that they have been calling of their son Akshay Shinde. We have Shrishti joining us live right now. Shrishti, has the hearing begun in the Bombay High Court?
I cannot hear anything.
Are you able to hear me now? Shrishti, are you connected? Just getting that line reconnected with Shrishti, our reporter there in Mumbai, will give us our first-hand information exactly what's happening in the court as we speak, as we are told that this matter with regards to Akshay Shinde, the parents who have now approached the court, and the Bombay High Court seems to be now taking up and asking tough questions when it comes to the state government on part of this hearing, which they have agreed to take up the matter on the plea that has been filed by the parents of the main accused. We'll be getting the live updates from our reporters there. This is the Badlapur High Court, Bombay High Court hearing on the Badlapur issue, especially when it comes to the petitioner side. They have been calling this as a fake encounter, and they have been now seeking to order a probe in the murder and registration of FIR against what they have been calling as erring officers, and to also preserve the CCTV footages of the Taloja prison and the vicinity near the spot where the incident took place. Yes, Shrishti, can you update us on the live hearing that is currently taking place in the Bombay High Court?
Well, of course, the petition was filed regarding the Akshay Shinde's death, which has happened, and the parents are claiming that this is a clear-cut encounter, and that's why the hearing is going on in Bombay High Court. What comes across is that in this entire matter, now the bench is coming down heavily on the chief public prosecutor. The statements which has been given by the public prosecutor, he is saying that the officials were doing their duty, and that's why this entire incident unfolded. But the officials, but the bench is saying that how can a layman know how to use the pistol, and this is hard to believe that such incident.
Just coming back to you in just a bit, Swapnal Kothari is with us. Swapnal, good afternoon. As we are looking at the live updates coming in from the Bombay High Court, the plea of the parents' side, they have been saying that this is an encounter, a fake one that has been conducted, and they also want the erring police officials to also be investigated. What do we make of what the matter has now been taken up in the Bombay High Court as we speak?
Abhita, this is obviously a vexed question which is often faced, because normally whenever you see a lot of accused in the past and the way the trials are conducted, what happens sometimes is, and I have always said on multiple channels, that this day is not far when the rule of law will be set aside and the law will be taken in the hands of the few people who've lost their patience. So to me, at first blush, it definitely sounds like a case of an encounter killing or a police encounter as such, in the garb of self-defense. To me, it looks like that. But, it all depends. I could be completely wrong. It could all depend upon the evidence at hand when it is led, when it at all this inquiry is conducted and all of those things. So when an inquiry is conducted, the Bombay High Court is definitely questioning this, because the Bombay High Court's job is to question that, well, its job is to ensure that the rule of law is there and that the police do not take the law into their own hands, in as much as they are empowered to carry out implement rules and procedures as established by law. So now this kind of a thing where sweets are distributed and all of those things, it definitely lends up a question mark, puts up a question mark as to what exactly transpired. Now, the more this matter unfolds, the more we will come to know. But vigilante justice is something which was bound to happen in this country, given the fact that, you've seen what has happened with the Pune case of, that hit and run. Then you've seen what is happening with the Kolkata rape case. So
well,
eventually,
I would also like your thoughts on what's happening in the Bombay High Court as we speak, because we are putting out the questions that when it comes to the court is asking the petitioners, or even when it comes to the police in the case here, how can you be so negligent and casual when you are escorting someone who is accused of a serious offense? Where were the procedures? Was he handcuffed or not? These are the questions that are being raised, and how a layman cannot fire a pistol unlike a revolver. How did he even know how to load a pistol and needs that kind of a strength? That is the question that is now being asked by the court.
Amita, all these questions which are being put up by the Bombay High Court are absolutely relevant, and this is exactly what I've been trying. What the Bombay High Court is trying to put up these questions by telling us or telling the petitioners or the Bombay police that, look, we are smelling a rat here. We believe that this is more of an encounter killing, a sort of a murder as such, if you may say. Vigilante justice. I wouldn't use the words like murder, but I would use words like vigilante justice. And that's what the court is hinting at, because by asking these questions, the court is doubting the veracity of what is being put forth by the police. So definitely here, there is definitely something fishy here, because if a layman is getting the revolver, if the police who's escorting the accused is not handcuffed, and all of those things, that means in some form or the other, the police is allowing something to happen. Of this nature, where it comes to know. I think, Amita, you will remember 2-3 years ago also something of a similar nature happened in the middle of the night in Uttar Pradesh, if you remember, where some accused was shot dead. And the police said that, we did not know, where these people came out in the middle of the night and all of those things, that he was being escorted in the middle of the night, when it was rather to the surprise of the courts at that time that how an accused is being escorted in the middle of the night. So obviously this was all a setup or anything of that nature. So, Amita, the question is very clear. By putting up these questions, the Bombay High Court is asking very, very pertinent questions. And I hope that the Bombay High Court pushes this case further and gets to the bottom of it, so that we come to know. And in any way, Amita, we will come to know whether vigilante justice has happened or it has not happened. If it has not happened, then good. But if it has happened, then it is time for the courts to expedite the trials of the accused. I will look at it both ways positively. In as much as I may sound, being a lawyer, I may sound a little peevish as far as this is concerned. But if I look at it the broader spectrum, which I'm even sure that the courts will also look at it in their own minds, that look, I think we need to really expedite the justice system, so that this frustration of the people is not there. If at all, it is vigilante justice.
Okay, so is it vigilante justice or not? Some tough questions being asked there. Swapnil Kothari, thank you for joining us with your perspective. In fact, some tough questions have been asked in court, including questions on how is it that a layman was able to load the pistol. In fact, Mr. Chavan going on to say that prima facie this cannot be trusted, that a layman can fire a pistol, unlike a revolver, which any other person can. A weak man cannot load the pistol as it needs strength. So these are the questions that have been asked. Let's go across to Nilesh with the details. Nilesh, this is an incident that has shocked, of course, the state. Several political questions also being asked, and this hearing in the court is extremely crucial. Take us through what has happened in the court with details and highlights of what the Bombay High Court has said.
Well, absolutely, this becomes a big development, a significant one, wherein the police has been into questions, not only with aspect to this encounter that has taken place, but since day one, wherein a delay of registration FIR was done, and now the police is facing all the heat from the court, wherein the petitioner earlier mentioned that the parents had met the petitioner, the accused, before this encounter took place, as before, but at no level, at no body language level, at no psychological level, he seemed aggressive or angry at any point. Instead, he was asking for money from his parents to avail the canteen service. This transpires that he was not into any mood of aggression, and later on the court mentions that how they are smelling rotten rats into this case, as this is being feeling like the justice system is being bypassed, wherein the accused should have been brought into court, but instead of doing that, the police took action and not being binding to the legal options, is what the court has been putting heavy on the police officers. During this hearing, Justice Revati and Justice Prithviraj Chauhan mentions that how the leniency was, lenience approach was, taken into consideration, that the accused, not being of a heavy structure, was able to access the pistol and also was able to shoot multiple rounds, not just one but multiple rounds, even though two constables were sitting left and right side of this accused. While shooting, why were they not able to control him? And the court carries on by stating that even if he was able to trigger the gun, which is at level to a multiple level, very difficult for a layman to shoot a pistol, because it requires a strength. Even if he was able to shoot rounds at officers, why the officers who are trained officers were not acting in a self-defensive mode? Because as per the SOP, that is the procedure, legal procedure, you have to shoot at legs or hands and not directly at point blank range. These are some serious questions which are being raised by the bench at the police officers, and the bench carries on stating, trying to understand what exactly the location looks like. Was it surrounded by multiple houses, and if yes, why their statements have not been recorded? To which the chief public prosecutor carries on saying that it is an isolated place where there is no availability of CCTV footages, and hence it is becoming difficult. However, they have asked the private buildings and neighboring areas to submit their CCTVs and also preserve CCTVs for further investigation. The bench further carries on by saying that though cops are involved, there should be no impartiality in doing justice to it. To which the chief public prosecutor mentions that a thorough investigation would be done and independent body will be investigating. The court carries on with a question that why no FIR has yet been registered even after receiving complaint from the family members, and in particularly father of the accused Akshay Shinde. So those are some serious questions which is being asked by the Bombay High Court to the police officials. The charge sheet is also in questions that why this charge sheet has not been into light, and multiple points of lapses is what is being taken.
In fact, Nilesh, the court saying that we are not really doubting anything, but we want to know the truth in its entirety. And it also asks, was the man handcuffed, the accused handcuffed or not? All right, stay with us. We have Abha Singh joining us on the broadcast. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Abha Singh. Often in such cases, there's a lot of politics around it. There's a very crucial hearing that's taking place in the High Court, and the court has asked some very pertinent questions to the police officials, including asking them to give a complete timeline of what happened.
No, it is very right, because if the courts don't put a check on this, then these gun-trotting cops are just going to do encounters, and when you see inquiries, a lot of them are fake encounters also. And also, India is a democracy where we believe that that due process of law should be followed. So the Bombay High Court is very right in saying that the CCTV should be protected and minute-to-minute movement should be shown, because whether it's a genuine encounter or a fake encounter, because if it is a fake encounter, you would remember there was this businessman who was shot dead in a fake encounter, and then all the encounter specialists of Bombay, they were from Mumbai police, were terminated. They lost their jobs. So it is necessary that the due process of law is followed, and Bombay High Court has taken a very good stand.
Okay, Mr. Abha Singh, how do you see the case proceeding? Because, you know, like you mentioned, there have been several such incidents that have been reported in the recent past as well. The court saying that there should be a complete timeline, while also mentioning that the moment he pulled the first trigger, the others should have easily overpowered him.
Exactly, because he was all alone in company of a couple of cops, and in the first place, how could he snatch the revolver of the cop? Because then it is tight, and it's not easy that you can just take it out like that. So the whole story looks that it is a fake encounter. So Bombay police is rightly asking, because if you read today also in Chennai also they have shot down somebody like this. In UP also those two men who had done a robbery, the both have been shot down at different places. So it is necessary that the process should not be defeated, because then why do we have courts at all if you are just going to kill them? So then we